Boys, I did the National Free Peaks Challenge. I completed it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a fucking important question to ask you, Dan, about this.
Go on.
How dead were you, and what did the Fitbit say?
Okay. Steps wise, it was roughly just over 60,000. I think it's like 62,000, something like that.
That's
Roughly.
a lot less than what I thought that I was expecting.
Well, I was completely dead. I was so mentally and physically shattered. I tried to sleep on the way home, but I couldn't, and there were other reasons why I couldn't, and that was frustrating. And then I stupidly stayed up till how I normally do, and didn't really sleep until my normal time last night. So, but the Free Peaks Challenge was great. I did it. It wasn't the perfect challenge. There were a few problems. I didn't do all of Ben Nevis. We got to the plateau and we didn't actually get to the summit because the winds were 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, unless I wanted to fly off like Peter Pan and die, yeah, we didn't do them. We didn't get to the actual top of Ben Nevis. And then, time-wise, I started at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning and finished roughly about quarter past 9 Sunday morning. If I hadn't have had to wait for everyone, because it was like over 40 people, if it was just my team, because I was in the top team, I would have done it in 24 hours. When we got down, if I hadn't have had to wait for the slower people, the minibus could have gone, left each peak, and I would have finished Snowdon dead in 24 hours. Even though we didn't even get to the top of Ben Nevis, it was only, an extra half an hour that we, if that, maybe not even half an hour, maybe like 25 minutes. So, I realistically, I actually didn't do it in 24 hours because there were a number of problems. I think there were also roadworks as well.
Oh, you can't help roadworks.
And I had to wait for slow people. But if it was just, if I did it in the times I did with, if I did a private one with people all my same fitness level, with the same guy who took us up and down on each peak, I would have easily done it in 24 hours. But sadly, you're with over 40 people with different fitness levels, all still good fitness levels, but not to the standard that the group I was in. Like on the last one, there was someone saying that they couldn't breathe on the last bit. They managed to do the first two pretty well. But on the last one, they were struggling, but it was a great experience, and I raised a lot of good money for charity, and I'm very happy. It was a Leicester-based charity. Funny enough, someone I know, their kid, the charity helped him, and he just had another checkup today about his heart. I need to actually message them about it, but I always love seeing anything about him and about his heart, because it's inspiring to know that there is someone's kid who I know who has gone through the similar things as I have, and I can kind of be a bit of a role model to be like, you might worry. I know you're only 5 and you're worrying about your heart. Look at me. I'm the same, and I've now done the National Free Peaks Challenge. You don't need to worry. There's bigger things to worry about.
How was it doing Scaffold in the dark?
Easy, boy.
Was it really?
Yeah. I did it in 3 hours.
Which route did you go? Well, and then again, Scaffold's not really a route, is it?
I realised we never went to the main car park.
Oh well, doesn't matter. We did it.
Yeah, it was only, we basically just did an extra 10 minutes. That's all we did.
Oh, that's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. No, it was a good experience.
Would you ever do it again?
I was literally about to say I probably would, but only in my 30s.
Why only in your 30s?
Because I'm getting older. If I don't do it again in my 30s, I won't do it again.
Oh, I get what you mean. I thought you meant, you're next going to do it in your 30s, then hint, hint, nudge, nudge, again in your 40s.
No. It was a good experience. Anything to add, Chris?
No, I just think what you've done is really, really good. Like, you've raised, last I checked, 435 beans for Heart Link. So hats off to you, mate.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing a hat, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a bit more that needs to come in. I think there's another £40 to go in. That
I'm going to add 30 to that, 10 for each peak.
You don't have to do that much. Because I got a bit. Yeah, there's a bit more I need to add. I'm gonna try and do that tomorrow. I think my parents were like trying to round it up to 500, but we'll see. I've raised a lot, and hopefully it will go to kids who went through the same things that I have. So. Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a very strong podcast for very strong people.
That threw me off.
We have one of the strongest people, Chris.
Hello.
We have another strong person, Brandon.
I can lift up a whole cup of tea by myself now.
So I'm doing the same thing right now. And you have me, Dan. Chris, you're in a game.
I'm in a fucking game. Yes. So I've been talking to a game developer. Let's say someone who does it on his spare time, this solo developer. He uses these sites itch.io, which you may be familiar with. It's basically like a site that independent game developers come together and release games, kind of like Steam in a sense. Steam Greenlight, to be more specific, if you remember that, where it was mostly independent developers doing stuff. But itch.io has had some big titles tied to it. Doki Doki Panic. I'm pretty sure people have heard of that one. That's an example.
I thought you were about to say Doki Doki Literature.
I was literally about to say that as well. Yeah. I was about to have a minor panic.
That is because that's what I meant to say, but Doki Doki Panic came out of my mouth.
Right. Is that because you're having a panic?
That's the game that was Super Mario Bros. 2. Yeah. Yes, so Doki Doki Literature was the game that made it.
Okay,
I'm having a panic now.
It wasn't around in the 1980s when Doki Doki Panic came out. Or was it? There might be an alternate timeline where that happened, I don't know. Let Marvel make it happen. Yes, so he's itch.io. And this chap's he's done another game before, which is basically just a life simulator where it's not something you really play. It's just sort of like you have like minimal interaction. You just sort of watch it unfold. But this person joined my Twitch chat, followed it, and it was a couple of months back when I was playing Worms, and it was like, oh, I really like Worms. It's like, well, everyone likes Worms, surely. So we went, oh, I'm making a game with like the same basic concept. And I was like, really? And got chatting. Anyway, got him on Twitter, starts DMing me. He's like, oh, so this is what I've been making. Would you like a free copy of it? It's like, yeah, sure, I'll do a free copy of it. Anyway, cut a long story short, this Thursday just gone, we did the launch of the game on my channel. So it's like now available to, well, I say buy, he's now giving it away for free. But there is a Ko-Fi donation link should you want to support him. The game is called E-genes Funtball. I keep going to see football, it's not. It's Funtball. Because I think he's from Finland. If I've got that country wrong, he's going to murder me later. But I'm sure it's Finland. So yeah, E-genes Funtball. E-gene is the name of the developer. And essentially why he's done it is because he's got a son who likes football and he likes the game's Worms. Simple as that. So throw the two in the blender. There we go. Got your game going underway. So the game is like a top-down. You play as a team of animals. So you got gorillas, you got giraffes, pigs, cows, and the other one.
What monkeys? You said that?
Gorillas. Giraffes. Yeah. Giraffes, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you pick one of them, you can pick which colour you want, and essentially you're playing football, but the twist is, instead of like moving the players around like you'd expect, whoever's got the ball does the same thing as you do in Worms. So you like line up where you want to take your shot, and then you've got like 2 power meters, like one for height, one for distance. Okay. It's got like a sort of aim assist or like whereabouts you want to kick it. But to make it a bit more like Worms, over time you accumulate points for like how much distance the ball has covered, and you can then use those points to use special power balls. So you got like a meteor strike one, which is just ultra powerful, like in one direction. You've got curse ones, which makes your opponent's accuracy go out the window. You got shot ball, which can damage your opponent and like sort of stop them from moving around the pitch, and a few others. So you can mess around with your team. and your opponent's team. Every character has got a health bar, so if they take too much damage from like special balls or being hit in the face, they won't die per se, but they will like become really sluggish on the field, so they can barely catch up to it. The ball that's been kicked around. And yeah, so in football, it's whoever scores the most goals wins. Simple, pretty simple. So after we launched the game, he was well happy. So he went, would you like your name in the game? Because every character is named just like Worms. And I went, yeah, sure. I will be a gorilla. So we got Spanky the gorilla, which I know isn't quite a monkey, but it's as close to Spanky the monkey as you're going to get in the game. So I am a gorilla in a football game. Of all the games I've never thought I'd be in, bloody football one.
So is it the best football game you've ever played?
It's a football game I've played, so it
is the best.
By proxy, the best football game I've ever played. Actually, no. I used to play sensible soccer back on the Amiga days, and that was fun. But this one trumps it because it's more of a Worms game than a football one. So yes, this one's the best one. And if you want to get it, just type in E-genes Funtball in itch.io and you will find it. Yeah, chuck him a few quid if you want, or not. It's free. Just go nuts.
Yeah, I might have a look. Now I'm back into normal life again. I'll download it and have a look, and give it a bit of a kick around.
Yeah. You're just going to pick any team that isn't the Gorillas and just keep firing. I mean,
nah.
I know that's what everyone else is going to do now. I've told you that.
No, because sometimes, although they're not. But for the meme, we need to go full monkey.
Oh yeah, go monkey mode.
We need to go full monkey mode for the banter. Monkey with an E and no Y.
Monkey.
Monkey. There you go.
I don't know why. Right, I don't know if it's just me, but anytime I hear monkey, I just think of like the PG Tips adverts.
I do, but then I also think of Trash Taste.
See, my first thing I jumped to is Anthony Hopkins in the Mario movie. Monkey.
I've never seen that, so apparently it's coming to the cinemas in Japan again. I was like, what? Why?
It's not the worst.
Again, as in they're just bringing it back.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. What you say?
It doesn't make sense. Why?
I don't know. Like
Japan logic.
Yeah, the other Mario films, so why not re-release this one like a year later?
Well,
shits and giggles.
There is I did a small topic of Mario. There is a sad bit of news about Mario that was announced today.
Yes, I've seen Charles Martinet is no longer doing the voice of it. He's not kind of retiring. He's still going around like doing events and showcasing Mario stuff. So he's what's still an ambassador for it.
I could have.
What I used to be.
I could have met him at a con, and I think I was doing something, and he was having his his meet and greet, and he looked like the happiest person on planet Earth. He seems such a lovely man.
To be fair, if he was a voice of Mario, he'd probably be the happiest man in the world.
Yeah, like he just seemed like you just meet him like, I've got no worries anymore. He could cure cancer. He could do anything.
He even sounds happy when he's upset. I'm going, oh no,
oh no.
Yeah, he's a. I hope he has a. It's sad to see him go, but whatever he does next, or if he fully retires, I hope he has a good retirement. It's sad. On another game note, I finally played Resident Evil HD Remake. I've not beaten it. I've only started the Jill route, but I've finally started that.
How is it?
We need to be careful here because I can talk about Resident Evil all day. So
really, I've never known.
I'll let you have the floor. I will shut the fuck up, let you say what you want to say, and I will bite my tongue the entire time.
I'll tell you this. I've got nothing bad to say about it.
Good.
Like that's all I'd say. Or do I? No, I don't think I do. Or if I do, I'm still too early. Until I started playing it, the only Resident Evil game I'd played was 4, and I guess 4 Remake. So okay, all I've played is Resi 4 and 4 Remake, and them comparing that to Resi 1 is like such a massive difference. Like you can see how far, even just by one generation, from PS1 to technically GameCube, how much the series changed in 4 games. It's from being a game that every moment I'm turning a corner in the Spencer Mansion, I'm just expecting a zombie to come out and just destroy me. I died at the first zombie like 3 times because I just kept fucking up. Well, I was like, oh, but then Resi 4, it's just like, yeah, look, let's just blast everything to pieces. Oh, this is well fun. And it's just two different, although it's the same series, they are just 2 drastically different games. And I'm not knocking either of them. Like, I love Resi 4, and I'm loving Resi 1 Remake. They're just drastically different, and also, I knew that, but it just blows my mind still. While I'm going around the Spencer Mansion as Jill, I'm like what was the, do you know the year difference between 1 and 4, Chris?
1 came out in 1996, and Resident Evil 4, I think off the top of my head, came out in 2002.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Sounds roughly. It's like they just are very drastically. It's just how they are just drastically different. It's just, yeah. But no, I'm liking Resi 1 Remake. As I said, every time I go around a corner, feels like death. The zombies, even just one, is dangerous. I try and not kill him if I can because I need to conserve ammo because this is definitely survival horror. I like the fact that you have limited saves. You can't just save constantly. I have like tons of saving items, so I'm doing well. I'm hardly saving, and what I am doing now is you have like 10 slots. I'm actually just slowly going down each slot with when I'm saving it. So all my save slots are used in case I need to. I think where I am right now, I've just faced Yawn, the snake, and Richard came in. So that's how far I am on Jill's playthrough. So I think I'm still fairly early on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say you're in like the first quarter. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think I can tell that looking at the map, this is not the whole game. Even though you have 2 characters, and yeah, it definitely. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. The story is just what it is at the moment. It hasn't really gone in too much. It's still just Jill traversing the mansion, Barry doing his own stuff. I believe they took out the Jill sandwich line in the remake, I think. I don't know, because I've never played the original, so I don't know. And Wesker just disappeared. All I know is Wesker is the big bad of Resident Evil, really, or like, especially up to 5, or whatever. All I know is he's a bad dude, and he's doing whatever he does. I'm not a fan of the dogs. Although I found out today that they can't come back. They don't come back to life once you kill them, and you can't burn them either. So I was like, okay, that's at least a good sign. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm still, like I said, early on, but yeah.
Yes. Well, I've just double checked. Resi 4 actually came out in 2005, so I was off by 3 years. But I've just noticed it came out on the 11th of January, which is my birthday. But it came out on my 20th birthday. You think I've stated that as a solid fact about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Resi Remake, I've not actually replayed it for 2 months. It's been a while. But yeah, I find the Jill playthrough is definitely the best option for beginners. Chris's playthrough, you have 2 less inventory slots. You can take more health damage, but you have way less ammo. You don't start with a gun. You've only got a combat knife to start, although not for long. But the way I play Resident Evil now, because I've played it to death, as I know, like I've got it imprinted exactly which zombies and which monsters you can just completely avoid.
Yeah,
to save your ammo.
Like
in fact,
the zombie that I've completely avoided for now is the zombie that's on the balcony in the first room with the typewriter. Like, I've been like, I do not need to kill this zombie. That can just...
No, you don't?
Yeah. You can just walk around that hallway. It's so easy to avoid it. I don't need to kill it at all. I don't need
sometimes it's fun just to toy with them. It's like, oh, you're going to get me?
Yeah,
oh, no, just run away.
Not today, Batman.
And say when you said, you didn't like the dogs, it's like, who fights the dogs? You know?
all right.
The dogs like pose like no real threat. Occasionally they do nip you, which is really annoying, and that feels more like RNG half the time.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Fair,
It's like I've gone through this hallway like 8 times. I've been fine. But on route number 9, it's like, God damn it.
Like when the first day I played it, I accidentally opened the door you come in, and one of the dogs came in and then killed me. I was like, oh crap. And then I accidentally did that today, and I was like, wait, I opened the wrong fucking door. I didn't want to go through this. So but I was like, well, now I know how. Now I played enough. I can just shoot it and carry on. But it was still annoying. It was still ammo and health I didn't need to lose. But oh well.
Well, a lot of people have stated, myself included, that the RE remake is like one of the best remakes of all time because it pretty much takes everything and improves it. Right?
I can tell.
But I am surprised we've not had a sort of current gen remake, like third person sort of style. I'm surprised they've not done that yet. They did it with 2 and 3.
I like the fact that I didn't even mention it, but the fact that you have fixed camera angles, because that you never know what you're gonna find when you go into a room.
Add to the spookiness. Like when you've got like no ammo, you walk into a room and you hear, you're like, nope, fuck that. I'm going somewhere else.
Yep. And there's even rooms where you go in and it's just the eerie noise. It's like, I've been through this room so many times. There's nothing in it, but that music doesn't fucking help. It's like, I know that there is nothing in here. I've been through it 10 times because these save rooms are all over the fucking place. And I've got to do this here. But still.
One of my favourite parts of the remake, and it's a blink and you'll miss it a bit, but there's a bit in the guardhouse, like the second section of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a room and there's like a sort of lightning flash. But in that quick moment, you just see like a silhouette and you think, oh shit, it's another zombie. But it's not. I mean, it's like a gotcha moment. But that's something that couldn't work with like a third person camera. Like that only works with a fixed camera angle because you can't see what's ahead. You just see like a lightning flash silhouette on the wall. It's like, fuck, I think I'm in trouble. And it's what doesn't help is like these rooms are like very close quarters. They're like small rooms. There's no way I can get out of here apart from just leaving.
Oh yeah. So even like there's like rooms where it's like, oh, if you go through here, the doorknob is gonna break, or you can go through, but you can't come back through, and it's just like, oh. And sometimes it's like it's fine. It's just like, oh, there's one zombie. It's fine. I can get round. And there's other times where it's like, fuck, what's gonna happen now? Like I think where I am, the next room I need to go to, I've got to go through a room like that where I've got to go through a door where I can't go back through it, and I've got to go a massively long way to get to like the main hall afterwards. But hopefully I should be alright.
Well, that bit with the broken doorknob wasn't in the original, but because they've expanded the mansion, like for example, like that courtyard that's in the back of the main hall isn't there in the original. But that sort of gives you an extra route, like an extra shortcut, to sort of make up for it.
Yeah.
It's just more decisions for you to make on the fly. It's like, do you really want to go through this door again, or are you going to go through the long way around, or are you in trouble? Do you need to get through there now, knowing that you're going to be screwed later?
Were the Crimson Heads on the PS1?
No, they weren't there. Edition, so the whole body burning mechanic wasn't there.
Yeah, because I've killed like the first one. I thought it. I was like, well, this is obviously still a zombie, so I tried to burn it, and obviously it came to life. I was like, oh fuck, and I couldn't kill it initially. I was like, all right, I'll fuck off out and then leave him for a while, and eventually got the shotgun, and I was like, right, okay, now I'll kill him, and it was fine.
Yeah, but it seems like a big deal, like the body burning thing, and it kind of is at the beginning of the game, especially in your mansion, because that's somewhere you're going to loot around a lot. Later areas where you're just like one and done, like you're not coming back.
Yeah,
it's fine. Obviously, you got areas where you're not fighting zombies, so that's alleviated there.
Yeah,
and when you get weapons like the incendiary grenades and headshots with the zombies, like they're not going to come back that way. There's ways to get past it.
Yeah, I've already there's a few. Like I said, there's a few zombies that already I'm like, I don't need to kill these. Like I went into a room where I think I got some ammo, and I think there was something else. There's still another item, because on the remake, it tells you what items are in which. It tells you if there's still items in the room. So I know that there's an item in the room, but there's a zombie straight away there, and I'm like, well, it's on the ground, so I'm like, if I walk over it, it's gonna animate. I'm just gonna leave it. I got some more ammo for my pistol. That's good enough. I don't know what else is in here, but it can't be that important.
Yeah, I would say one last thing about the game, and that is just how good the level design is for the Spencer Mansion. It's like my favourite level in any game.
Oh, it's great.
It's on multiple levels, but like because of how it's broken down, you can essentially loop round. It's genius game design.
Oh, it's great. I love how it looks. I love how it sounds. I'm loving it. Like McDonald's, I'm loving it. It's
10 out of 10.
I wouldn't put it 10 out of 10 right now because I'm still not that far through, but I'm really enjoying it, and I don't do horror often. I think my only problem is this. I do have Resident Evil 2 and 3 on my PS1.
Mm-hmm.
Should I play them?
Yes.
And the remakes?
Yeah, play them. That's the thing about the remakes of like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's just so totally different.
Yeah.
They're completely different games. The chalk and cheese. They both got the same basic story. That's pretty much it, and even that changes.
I think that's why I'm a bit like with them. Yeah, I think that's what, with them. I'm a bit more like I might actually play the original. I'll probably play the remake anyway, but I'm more like I think playing the original is worth it. That was kind of the reason why I got them. I thought Resi 1 on PS1, I was like, I think I could skip it and just play the remake. But 2 and 3, I didn't think I could. Well, I could have, but I think I always felt like they were more worth playing than just skipping them and playing the remakes. Even though I hear that Resi 2 remake is the best Resi game.
Yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed that, myself included. I guess if you put a gun to my head and really asked me to pick my favourite Resident Evil, and I've thought about this a lot, I might still go with the original Resident Evil 2, my favourite one. I just like it.
The thing is, Capcom know how to make remakes.
They do. Just even some of the people in fact, YouTuber I watch, don't know if you know him, Phaelus, just did a video on Resident Evil 4 remake. And so did a completionist, actually, funnily enough. And both of them are like, yeah, we'll never doubt Capcom again. When they say they're going to do a remake, trust them. It's going to be good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, what was still on, I guess, kind of like a PS1 game. Obviously, it's a GameCube game, but I'm playing it on the Switch. I guess because it is a remake of a PS1 game. You've been playing a PS1 game, haven't you, Chris? Which has also had a TV show.
Yes, so I have been watching... Well, I finished watching Twisted Metal, which was a series on Peacock, which is done by Sony Game Studios. You know, did The Last of Us. That was pretty good. Twisted Metal, that's pretty good too. I really enjoyed this series. It is, 10 episodes? Off the top of 10 episodes, roughly about half hour each, give or take. So it's only like 5 hours in total, so not super long. It is, well, let me describe the original game first, because I think that's the best way to go about it.
I'll just premise, I've never played Twisted Metal. I know the premise. What about you, Brandon?
I've not done anything with it. I've seen it on PS Plus, but I thought, just looks like a janky racing game, so we just left it.
It's not really a racing game.
No.
So I've only played the original Twisted Metal. I have not played any other ones. I know World Tour's on PSN now for PS Plus, but they've released both for that and the original because the series has come out, so it's a coincide with it, which works out rather well. So fingers crossed they're going to release more TV shows so we can get more games come out. That would be lovely. The original game is it's pretty bare bones now. It is what it is because it came out in 95, which is the same year the PlayStation came out, so it's one of the very first PlayStation games. In it, it's a vehicular combat game, kind of like Destruction Derby, but with guns.
That's what I meant, not a racing game.
So, yeah, surprisingly there's no racing involved. But the basic premise of it is there's a sort of mystical guy called Calypso, and he promises to grant the wish of anyone who wins this Destruction Derby tournament, essentially. And all the people that enter it are basically criminals and psychopaths, and not quite the salt of the earth type people, but they put a big emphasis on this when it came out. Every character had a sort of bio, you didn't actually see the characters themselves, it's just the trucks, but you got like a little profile picture to go with it saying who's driving it, like a bit of backstory. The most famous one, of course, is Sweet Tooth, which even if you've not played Twisted Metal, you've more than likely seen the design. There's a clown with a clown, but his head's on fire.
Yeah.
And he drives his infamous ice cream van, which is really good design, to be honest. Although he's not my favourite character to play as. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's multiple endings because you beat the game with each character. They get their wish come true, but because the Calypso's essentially evil, it kind of backfires on them. It's like the monkey's paw effect. It's like they get the greatest wish, but dun, dun, dun. Now for the series, it's not quite the same, like at all. But I do like what they've done with it. I want to say they've grounded it, made it more realistic, but no.
Well, the only clip I've seen is Anthony Mackie fighting Sweet Tooth, and I was like, okay, so there are bits where the characters meet outside of their vehicles.
Yes, a lot of it is outside the vehicle.
Well, yeah. TV show, you know.
Yeah. In fact, the vehicular combat series, it starts with like a bit like that. The last episode, there's like a big skirmish sort of confrontation. There's a couple of bits sprinkled out, but they're done sparingly because you know this stuff ain't cheap to film. So they're doing it all out. But there are quite a few fight scenes. In fact, one of the most notable fight scenes, which made me raise an eyebrow in a good way, so I put it as a status. It's like I'm not saying Twisted Metal is the best show ever, but I've just seen a really well choreographed bar fight scene with the music by Andrew WK, Party Hard, playing on top of it. And there's some big dude with a massive wang that's smashing a watermelon in the middle of it. So you know they're trying. They're going out there.
Oh, you know.
It really is over the top, but in the best way. It's not. I'd say that it's a rough one because I want to say the dialogue's cheesy, but at the same time, I think it's quite well written. There's quite a few I'd say heartfelt moments, as much as you can say when people go around going fucking and swearing all the time. Such uncouth language. So the basic premise of this, instead of like the tournament, Anthony Mackie plays a guy called John Doe because he doesn't know his name. The roles of John Doe, and he's what they call a milkman, which is essentially just a courier. And in the Twisted Metal universe, it's like post-apocalypse. Although people have survived, it's just like there was some kind of not quite nuclear war, but a war. So like everywhere's like ruins and fucked. But there's like little pockets of civilizations. Like there's a really nice place in San Francisco, which is where the game takes place originally. It's in San Francisco. So that place is like really nice, and it's John's dream to like get in here, and he gets given the opportunity to be allowed entry into it if he manages to like be a courier and deliver this, well, go and grab a package and bring it back within a time limit. So it's more of a sort of cross-country deal, and as he's going along his merry little way, he bumps into multiple characters, which you may recognize from the game Twisted Metal, oddly enough. But the bigger supporting cast is you've got Quiet, who is played by Stephanie Batiste, who the entire time I was trying to work out where the hell she's from, but she's Agent Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sweet Tooth is in it. He's like the next sort of major player. And I like what they've done with Sweet Tooth because I thought, is he going to be a sort of antagonist or is he going to be a hero? And he kind of rides the line. I'd say kind of like a bit like Deadpool, but more unhinged. He's like, he can be reasoned with and talked to. He's not complete batshit insane. Well, he is, but he like builds up a rapport with some of the characters. So he's like, I wouldn't say he's like your secondary hero, but he's certainly making an impression. And he's played physically by Samoa Joe, which I believe it's just like a wrestler. I don't think he's ever done any real acting to date, but he only plays him physically. The actual voice of him is done by Will Arnett, who I'm sure you've heard of.
Oh, yeah.
BoJack Horseman. And honestly, he does a really, really good job. You can tell it's him, but he puts on like a gruffer voice. Honestly, it works well because Sweet Tooth, he's as you would expect from a clown. He's unhinged, but he like has a laugh as well. Again, Deadpool's like the closest thing I can compare it to.
Yeah.
But more interestingly, the game does have the series does have a sort of antagonist, Agent Stone, played by Thomas Hayden Church, as you may know as the Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
Oh, really?
And he's in the original Twisted Metal, and he rides a car called the Outlaw. Essentially, he's a policeman, but he goes off the rails slightly. But in the Twisted Metal universe, he's seen as like the law in a lawless land. He's like the head honcho. He's trying to keep peace, but at like any cost. And he will like just straight up execute people. He's like judge, jury, and executioner for literally anything. He goes into a bit of backstory why he's like that way. But again, he does a really good role. He just wants to hunt down John Doe. He wants to hunt down Sweet. He just wants to hunt down everyone. He doesn't want bandits around. He wants a sort of civilization under his own rule, but even that's questionable. So it really freshes out what Twisted Metal was, which is just a contestant thing. But how these series ends, I think it's already confirmed that there's going to be a series 2. Series 2, I believe, is going to lean more into the actual contest, like the game.
Yeah.
So this is more world building and getting to know some of the characters. So it's essentially leading up to all these characters you met along the way. They're going to be the contestants in the next one.
Yeah. But
no.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Twisted Metals. I don't know. I've been interested because I listened to a number of podcasts, and a lot of them do talk about Twisted Metal more than sometimes I actually realise, and they always seem to have like good things to say. I always know that I think Twisted Metal 2 and I think Twisted Metal Black are meant to be pretty good.
I couldn't tell you which ones are the best and the worst ones because I'm not that well versed on it. As I say, I've only played the original. What I can say though is the original hasn't aged well at all. Because it's like a PlayStation, near as damn it release title. It doesn't have analog support. You control, you drive with the D-pad, and that's as uncomfortable as you'd expect.
Yeah,
it seems to take about 3 years just to turn around. It's like, please go. But it kind of depends who you're playing as. Say you got Sweet Tooth in it. You got Agent. You got Outlaw who's in it. But my favourite one I used to play as, actually I can't remember the name of the character now. But it's basically they drive a truck. It's like I want to pick that. That's got the most armour, quite obviously.
Yeah.
It's a sodding truck. And there's a guy on a motorbike, which is essentially just the Grim Reaper called Mr. Grim. Yeah. And I never picked him because he moves fast, but it's nigh on impossible to control him because he moves fast. And he's got like no armour being a motorbike, so no, not picking them. So truck it is every time. It seems. Yeah, it's a fun little game, but it is definitely aged. But I do need to check out some of the other games. But I don't know how much gameplay I'll actually get out of it. If it's anything like the original, it's just like, oh, you and another guy in an arena blow each other up. Level 2, you and 2 guys in an arena blow each other up. Level 3, you and 4 guys. Oh, not 3, 4 guys in an arena.
It's probably one of those, if at the time it was like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever, but then now there's probably a reason why there's not been a new Twisted Metal game for a long time, because probably a lot of what it does is in other games or whatever,
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those that's more fun to play in the 2-player couch.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because talking about Destruction Derby, I was thinking about like Saints Row 2, because that's got the Destruction Derby mini game, and it's like you got something like that, which is basically like GTA, and it's just like, oh, here's a Destruction Derby that you can do on the side. So you got something like that, and it's probably, well, not that Destruction Derby is a real thing, but Saints Row is a completely different thing that basically has Twisted Metal as a side thing to do in its own game. But
Let's have a quick look to see when the last title came out.
I think it's on PS3. I don't know what it was called, but I think the last one was on PS3. From
Revolution, I think, was the last one.
From all the podcasts I've heard that talk about Twisted Metal, I believe that's what they say.
Yeah, I think 2012 was the last one, just called Twisted Metal. Yeah, that's it. Not to be confused with Twisted Metal.
Yeah. Even Retro Smash did an episode on Twisted Metal too. Yeah,
they did.
An entire episode?
Yeah, they did an entire episode. Yeah. It's good. As every episode that is, you should listen to them. Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. There you go. Brandon.
Well, after you guys had your brief chat about Resident Evil, and then you went on to talk about another PS1 game, I thought you was going to go onto the tangent and say something about another zombie game, which me and Chris have been playing, haven't we, Chris?
I didn't know it was a zombie game.
It's pretty much zombies. That's what it's sort of loosely implied to. It's more of like some sort of contagion from what I get so far. And that's a lovely little free game on the PS Plus called Dysmantle. How far in it are you, Chris?
I'm quite far. I'm not sure though, because I don't know how long the game is, but I've put some time into it while I've been uploading videos, and Jesus, this game's massive.
Yeah, the world is massive.
I've been talking quite a lot, Brandon. You take it away. You explain the game to everyone.
Okay, so the whole premise of Dysmantle, you're basically a guy who's basically spent a lot of time in a bunker because some sort of zombie contagion, whatnot, is released, and he thought, okay, it's about time I come out of my bunker, and then it turns into an open world survival game. But the main premise of this and the main driving selling force behind this game is that I think 90%, or at least I think 90% of the world you can destroy and turn into resources. So when you just start off with a crowbar. So you can just destroy basic like wooden objects, and then eventually you can get like a shovel, so then you can start digging. Then eventually you can get like a machete, so you can cut wood. Then you can get a wrench, an axe, and your tools just start gradually expanding. There's a leveling up system with perks, so you can level up your foraging skill, you can level up your building skill, your healing, your ability to throw knives, or it's like this building tree, well, it's like a skill tree aspect as well. So you've got like your building skills, your combat skills, your like exploring skills, your outfits. It's just tons of stuff in this game. But the main premise is that you just want to get off this island and get to safety. But as Chris said, the world is just fucking massive. So I've only right, in terms of story, Chris, I've only picked up one fuel cell, and that's the one in the bottom right of the map.
Okay.
That's how far I am.
I've picked up 2 so far. So how the game's structured is like you come out your shelter. There are quests it tells you to do, but from what we understand, as far as we've got, there's like an escape pod that you discover a couple of hours in, and your main quest is to get these fuel cells, one in like essentially each corner of the map. It's the Four Lords Dark Souls thing again.
Pretty is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing we should say. There's bosses in it.
Yes, there are bosses. So there is a little bit of Souls elements to this.
Yeah, because there's a dodge roll.
Yeah, there's a dodge roll. It's got a healing mechanic.
Campfire, bonfire mechanic.
Yeah, there's that as well. You lose your resources when you die until you go and retrieve them again.
I'm really fucking enjoying this game. I'm so thankful you recommended it to me, Chris.
Oh, and you quite literally have bonfires as well. They don't even pretend to call it something else. It's like, yeah. But it makes sense in the context of this. You're a survivor. And what I like about this is I don't really like survival crafting games at all. I find them tedious. I find them overcomplicated for what they are. But this game makes it so simple. Like to do this craft stuff, it's essentially just a skill tree. It's just like, you leveled up, now you can build this. And it sort of drip feeds at you. It doesn't like overwhelm you. And once you build a thing, that's it. You just have it. It's not like, you build one, but that's going to break over time. No, it doesn't do that. Even like consumables, it treats it like Dark Souls. Like, you go back and then your grenades and your bandages restock when you invest again.
The guy breaks the third wall, like he knows he respawns.
Yeah, it's like, that's just like a slap on the wrist. And he's like, it's like this raises lots of questions about my morality. Yeah, it's got a couple of jokes in it, but there's no there's a little bit of voice acting, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah, there's some like mysteries with the world, like with obelisks and tombs and everything.
Yeah, what I would say though, if you play this game, don't go out your way to try and collect everything at the start. Just don't, because it's fucking massive, and you'll get more than enough stuff going around.
Yeah, just start off, just upgrade your basic tools, so like your crowbar, get the wrench, level up. Do some brief exploring, but there are some bits. I mean, from what I've seen, the enemies are basically unchanged for as far as I am in the game. You still got your basic guys, you've still got the throwing guys, the fatties, and you've got the claw guys, and you've got like the skeleton looking guys, and then the weird like mortar and spiky pods. But I've not come across anything else apart from those, and I'm a good part of 20 hours in. Yeah,
if there's one thing I think is a downside to this game, it is the enemy variety.
There's not many.
So, I'm further in, and I'm still just fighting like the same things. There are like a couple of variants on them, but they are just like the same enemy, just like stronger. So, I think all in all there's like 8 different enemy types I've seen, but there are a couple of bosses though, so that keeps things fresh. But it seems like every time I think, I'm gonna make a progression, like you do a quest and you think, right, I've just got to go over here. There's always a roadblock. There's always like a gate that's locked, and it's like,
a bridge has collapsed.
Now I've got to do this. It's like, a bridge has collapsed. Now go and get lumber. Now I'll get some scrap electronics. And most of the time, at the point I'm gaming, it's nothing, because I'm normally carrying so much stuff. Because as you level up, you can get more inventory slots. It's like more than likely I've got it on my person already, because I got to the point in the game that I've got some like weapon upgrades, which I can basically break down pretty much anything I come across now, bar a couple of bits. I think genuinely like the only thing you can't break in this game are walls in certain segments. That's it. It's like solid walls. But apart from that, I think like absolutely everything in the overworld can be destroyed.
Yeah, I have reached a point where the expert lockpick. So I haven't built the expert lockpick yet, but I can destroy the walls around the doors. So it's basically pointless now.
Yeah, I think there might be 1 or 2 bits where you may require one, but it's always for optional stuff. But it's always worth exploring, because you come to like another of a settlement, but you want to check like every room, particularly the kitchens, because the kitchens you get
for recipes, yes.
Yeah, for recipes. And if you craft these recipes with like the X amount of foodstuffs they need, it gives you like permanent upgrades like +5 health or faster dodge speed or all kinds of passive stuff. So it's always well worth checking.
For some reason, I've got a couple of recipes that don't work. Like for some reason, I can't make kimchi.
Do you know why?
Why?
Oh, because I'm genuinely asking, do you know why?
No, because it says like you need like 6 lettuce, carrots, onions, spices. I put them in, just can't make it.
Oh, do you
no
not have
idea
the
why.
you not have the upgraded cooking pot yet?
My cooking pot's max level.
Okay. Are you putting the ingredients in the correct order? You have
Yep.
to do it in the exact order. Then I don't know.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's
like,
just completely broken. I thought there's something. I'm doing this in the exact order it's wanting. I'm just like, I don't know why it's. I'm having a struggle with another 4 ingredient recipe as well, but I just can't seem to get to work.
I don't know what to say. Everything's fine with me. There's been a couple of bits I've not been able to cook. That's because I simply didn't have the ingredients and couldn't find them yet.
Right, for the house building quest that's in it, did you find that it's a bit harsh, the get lumber one, to make the wooden door?
No, not at all.
Because I've still not come across any lumber.
Yeah, it's kind of done like by design. You won't. It's kind of like the game's way of gatekeeping you. Like for certain materials in the game that you need later on, you cannot access them until later in the game, until you've made progress, where you will like stumble across like a lumber mill, and then there's another bit later on where you stumble across like a smelter, so you can make titanium. But it's kind of like the game's way of saying, well, you don't want to get you too overpowered. You've got to at least make it this far.
Yes, so I can't even make a door. I can't make a door for my house.
No, but don't worry, you'll be able to before you know it. And in order to make these things, you've got to use your other materials to sort of create them. So you've got to put like a load of wood in to make lumber, which sounds like a pain. But if you're anything like me, you just put all of it in. It's like, how much lumber do I want? 100.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get like the tier 1 materials.
Yeah, it really is.
And some of the crafting things, like the compressor, is such a lifesaver.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god!
So for like timber and titanium, they both work on the same principle, just different materials. But in order to get them, you've got to wait for them. Is that all? Like, because like they're basically processed. But
so it's like the farms.
Yeah, kind of. Easy way to negate it though, at least at first, is just go to sleep at camp for like 12 hours. And when you come back, there'll just be a pile of it.
Oh, okay.
Or you can plan way ahead of time. And I wish I did this sooner. So there is a quest for you to like build like a little settlement in like a little island. Build everything you can first. Like build a planter, build a smelter when you can, build a lumberjack thing, and put it all in one place. Because later on, you get an ability to travel back there at any point and travel back again to the exact point you were. So you'll be in the middle of a field, you just go, right, my backpack's full, just quickly piss off home, dump everything, plant a load of stuff, make some titanium, make some lumber, and then just fuck off again. Only thing is, if you do that, make sure you go back to a checkpoint like close to where you're actually exploring.
Yeah,
because
if you accidentally rested at a campfire, forgot to rest at a campfire.
Yeah, because if you rest at like your home camp and then die way out in the wilderness, you'll respawn at your home camp, not where you were exploring. You think, oh fuck, now I've got to get all the way back there again. That's one slight annoyance. There's one more thing. That's how the actual fast traveling works. So there's like radio towers in the game essentially that you can fast travel to, which is all well and good. But I do think they're spaced out way too far apart.
Yeah, it seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, I mean, traversing the map's like not a huge deal, especially later on.
But when it's this big.
Yeah, but it's massive, and sometimes to get to certain areas, you can't just like take a Bethesda approach and just like walk in a straight line till you're there. You've got to go around it a certain way.
Go around all the roadblocks and all the bloody Bats bridges.
Yeah, and the amount of times I've been going towards where I thought I was going the correct way. It's like, yeah, I'm going this direction. Then you look at your map and go, oh no, I'm walking towards a peninsula, like a dead end. I've actually got to go back and walk all the bloody way around. It's like, Yeah, it does have some annoying features, but overall, I am enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I will see it through to the end, but I do get the feeling it's going to be a bit like a slog to get there.
It's going to be a bit like a what?
It's going to be a bit of a slog to get there.
Oh yeah, but hopefully story makes it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got to the point. I've been enjoying it, and I've seen most of what it's had to offer, and I just want to get it done.
I feel like I'm sort of getting towards that stage now, just because of the lack of enemy variety and just the constant, here's a roadblock, so you can't get to where you want to. You've got to go the long way, and like, for goodness sake, just let me get to where I want to go.
Yeah, it is a good game, Dysmantle, but I would recommend playing it in smaller doses.
Small doses, yeah, a couple hours here and there, not whole day sittings, because you'll get frustrated.
Exactly. Yeah, that's Dysmantle. Recommended.
it looks quite cool actually. I was looking at some images. Have either of you played any of the State of Decay? Is it a bit like them?
I've not played any of them.
I played the first one when it first came out because it had a lot of advertising push behind it. And it's like always the next big thing. I tried several times to play it and I just could not get into it at all. And I know I'm not the only one that felt like that. My mate bought it and he was hyped for it as well because he thought, oh, it was a zombie game. Yeah, I'm down for that. And started playing it. It's like, yeah, I'm just not digging this. I don't really like any of the mechanics in it.
I never played them. I just looking at it. It just reminded me of State of Decay. I just interested.
Yeah, State of Decay looks like in like a still image. You think, oh, that looks like the kind of thing I'd enjoy until you start playing it. And it's like, I'm really not enjoying it.
You start playing it.
So it's like you start playing it, you think this isn't fun. That's the best way I could.
Well,
could go about it.
That's literally how we all feel about The Witcher 3 and Wild Hunt. It looks cool, but we didn't.
That's cool. That's cool. Has its fans. I just don't vibe with it.
Literally every time, it's like one game that all three of us is just The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Just that gameplay, it just doesn't grab us.
I don't know what it is.
I know,
it
it's
pisses me off.
Literally,
I want to enjoy it.
Literally, I think it was the week before I went away, I had someone talk to me about The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt because they're currently watching the show, and I was just like, I couldn't get on with it. It's like, oh, okay. But they were asking more questions about the story, and I was like, oh wait, no, this is the shows, the books, he's like, oh okay, but yeah, I don't know. No, if I had a PS5, I'd probably check out Dysmantle, but sadly I don't. One day, I would like to say one day soon, but I'm currently saving up for another holiday, so probably not. Sorry,
Holly Bob.
Yeah, don't worry, it's next year. It's not this year. But
be like me, never have a holiday and just buy consoles instead.
Nah, I want to see the world, man. But you play some more Overwatch 2, Brandon?
Yes, there's been recently. It's been a massive insurgence of on Overwatch 2 because they've released season 6 of Overwatch 2 and they've branded it as Overwatch 2 Invasion, where they have now added like campaign missions and story missions and like a hero mastery system where you do like mini quests and challenges that are hero dependent, so you can like sort of upgrade your proficiency in said character and titles and other cool things in regards to said characters. But the new Overwatch mission system is genuinely impressive. So like a lot of even some of the big streamers who had criticized the game are saying it's refreshing that they've brought all this stuff in. Yes, you have to pay to, so obviously because Activision Blizzard, you've got to pay to get this cool new stuff, and that it's not actually part of the game itself. But considering the game itself is free to play, and then paying like a $5 for all these missions if you're interested in like the Overwatch lore, in the grand scheme of things is nothing really. But all in all, the campaign missions, I've not actually played them, but I've seen a lot of people review them and they look fantastic. I think each mission's about half an hour long. There's like all sorts of stuff you can do in them as well, the challenges to unlock. There'll be like weekly events or seasonal events where you can get loot and skins for characters. Like right now there's one for Brigitte if we're doing it. I have obviously all of us here, we slate Blizzard at the best of times, but they have genuinely done a pretty good job with this. I'm enjoying the new season. They've released new hero Ilari, who's obviously broken on release, and she's been amazingly fun to play as well.
The thing is with Blizzard is recently, in the past 5 years, they just really swing. Like they used to have a good track record, but now it's either they'll come out swinging or they just produce a turd. And you just never know. And maybe it's because now they're part of Activision, and you could say yes, that is why. But then you have something like Diablo 4 that has absolutely gone down so well this year. But then you look at Overwatch 2, and I saw a news article about Overwatch 2 this week, and so I don't play it. I'm not playing it, so I don't really know. But I think it says it all. I think the director came out and said basically Overwatch 2 is now Overwatch 3, which is kind of tells you how bad things have been for Overwatch. If the director is saying that.
Yeah, because it literally, like, if you look at Overwatch 2 now to what it was when it's released, now that they've added like a campaign, it's I would say it's like Overwatch 3. I would have called like the Overwatch 2 on release, I would have called it Overwatch 1.5, if anything. Because like it just, obviously it wasn't polished on time of release. It's still, had like plenty of problems, but they're ironing them out. Obviously, you take what companies say with a pinch of salt, where they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to start to do this, that, and that." But it's genuinely a step in the right direction, and I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping they can continue this trajectory they're going in, because the fact that they've released like all these new bits of lore for the characters, all these new interactions for the PvE stuff it's refreshing, and it's been well needed. It's been what the community's been asking for a long time after that shit show they did early this year, where they said, "Oh, we're cancelling all this and that," and we're just like, well, that's the whole reason you've rebranded it to Overwatch 2 was because you were adding this and that to it.
The thing I have to ask,
yes.
They given anything good, anything juicy to May?
No, but they've buffed her a lot.
Okay.
To the point where she's a bit disgusting right now.
Okay.
Winston had to be nerfed because he's too fucking broken.
Okay.
Yes, obviously you still get certain characters which are completely busted, which is keeps the game juicy and alive.
Same with everything. Doesn't matter what game. It's the same with everything. Same with the amount of weapons and spells on Elden Ring. Just their buffs and nerfs were all over the fucking place. They probably still are. I don't know. But same with everything.
Yeah, I've been playing Overwatch 2 pretty much every day. Me, my partner, and my workmates, we're absolutely, we love it. Yeah, we have our stressful days, and I had a game today where someone was moaning in voice chat that I was Tracer and I should change to someone like Torbjorn. So what I did in spite was, when we were in the next game, I went to Tracer, changed to Torbjorn, back to Tracer, back to Torbjorn. I just kept doing that for about 5 minutes just to piss him off.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to chat shit, just, and then they had the cheat to die 14 times. But yeah, if you're going to chat shit, don't make yourself look like an idiot. Yeah, just don't make yourself look like an idiot in the game.
It's funny you should say like positive stuff about Overwatch too, Brandon, because everyone else I know that plays it really hates it.
What, the new story stuff?
Yeah, they don't like it at all. Like, they're not having fun. I just read an article, right, to double check that, because I'm hearing you say like positive things, and I was just thinking, I thought it was being slated, and I've just gone to check. I've checked an article that says, oh, it's like sitting at like a 91% negative reviews, and I've just gone on Steam, and it's like overwhelmingly negative.
I think because a lot of the stuff they've promised, they've just not followed through, and they've been very, very slow and very long to do stuff.
The article I've read is very up to date. It's literally today's date. Like, yeah, no one's a fan.
Literally, it's literally reached a point. I'm saying positive things about Activision Blizzard because they've done something right. Doesn't mean they've done a lot of things right. They've just done something remotely right. Like it's when you see like a bad kid, you're like, well done, you didn't stab your friend today. Here's a sticker. That's basically what I've had to do for Activision Blizzard. Is like, oh, well done, you haven't fucked anything up this season.
Yeah, you're saying earlier, we have a pop at Activision Blizzard, and I was thinking, that's not true. I've not had a pop at Activision Blizzard for like 6 hours. I'm doing really well.
Yeah, that's literally what it's like at the moment. But as long as they continue making big projects and following through, then I've got nothing to complain about. But as soon as they start to pull the ropes again, then it's back on the naughty step.
I'm just thinking that a meme of like Game Freak fans being like, first time. They've been complaining since like Gen 6. Pretty much.
I'm just having a quick look at these Steam reviews. It's not something I normally do, but they're right there. And
the Steam reviews are hilarious.
Yeah, the only reason it exists on Steam is so you can give it a bad review. Yeah. Overwatch porn creators work harder than game developers.
Yep.
Completely agree.
2016, game is good, porn is good. 2022, game is bad, porn is still good.
Yep. Also agree.
Yeah. Someone's just downvoted it and just said, doing my part. Oh, somebody's given it one positive review, but it simply says, I recommend the porn, not the game. Yeah, and that's a positive. So it's actually, with positive reviews like that, it's actually even more like, it's more like 93% negative. That's worse.
I love the Overwatch community sometimes.
Oh, that's worse than any game that's ever been on the platform. That's worse than Cyberpunk 2077 and Fallout 76 on launch.
To be fair, no. Well, I'm glad you have fun out of it, Brandon. Like, at the end of the day, if you're having fun, who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks?
Exactly. I enjoy playing the game. I like collecting all the stuff. I'm still very wounded at the fact they've removed the loot boxes, but you can't have everything.
It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last thing is I've been caught up to date for ages, but you're not completely up to date, but you've now watched season 1 of Mushoku Tensei, haven't you, Brandon?
Yes, I finished it a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I'm a
After
bit.
Turning Point 3.
No, Turning Point 2.
2?
Turning Point 3
Is it
hasn't. Turning Point 3 has not occurred yet.
Yeah, it would have been Turning Point. Well, Turning Point 1 was when the man disaster happened, and the Turning Point 2 would have been with Orsted. Yes.
Yes.
I was just trying to think because I was like, surely Turning Point 1 would have been him actually being reincarnated.
No.
Yeah, I was just like rethinking it, but yeah.
No, Turning Point 3 has not occurred yet. So Mushoku Tensei is an anime. It's an isekai. That means it's a guy who dies. Well, no, not dies. He gets reincarnated into another world. Well, not always reincarnated, because Digimon's a isekai, for example, and then decides to become a reverse isekai halfway through when they go back to the real world. But it's normally another world. In some ways, Alice in Wonderland is an isekai, if you want to go that far. Well, I'm not wrong, am I?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's deep.
I've known that for years. I've been like, oh yeah. And when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, Alice in Wonderland is a isekai. There you go. So Mushoku Tensei, it's about a 34-year-old man who is a shut-in who gets evicted, and then he randomly decides to save some people, and then Truck-kun decides to kill him, and he dies. The good old Truck-kun always loves to kill an anime character.
Yep.
It's always ready to do that.
Unless it's Konosuba, then it's a tractor going 2 miles an hour.
I can't remember Konosuba.
Yeah, Konosuba, the guy, because Aqua was like laughing at him, saying,
"Oh yeah."
He was like, "Oh, I must have like died doing something heroic." And Aqua was like, "No, you just had a heart attack because you thought Laura was coming at you. It was actually a tractor at like 2 miles an hour, and you died of a heart attack."
So he gets reincarnated, but unlike most of these, where goes to another world, and they're normally or either the same age or whatever. This time he literally restarts as a baby. You literally watch as he gets born, and so he literally is a 34-year-old man in a baby's body as he slowly gets older. So, for example, where it currently is, he's technically a nearly 50 in nearly a 50-year-old man in a 16-year-old body, something like that. I'm probably getting ages a bit wrong, but it's something like that. So, but yeah, I quite like this show. It has its problems, but it is very good. It has incredible world building. The world building is probably the stuff I love the most about this show. It has 3 or 4 different languages in the world, and when characters speak those different languages, they actually do different things, and how it comes across, and it's fascinating. Yeah, it's set in a magical world with dragons and other mythical beasts and magic and all that goodness that you probably have seen in every other medieval fantasy, whatever. I don't know. What do you want to say, Brandon?
I was just literally going to reiterate everything like you said. The world building's fascinating. There's still several bits of as far as I'm into it, there's still several bits of mysteries in it, who exactly is the man god. Obviously, we know about the 7. Is it 7? I can't remember.
Yes,
off my head.
There's a thing where it's there's 7 individuals who are meant to be the strongest people or the strongest beings in the world. We've met one of them.
Orsted the second, and then the man god is the last one.
Like I said, there are gods and deities, and there's loads of magical powers, and the main character, he from an early age he starts using magic, and he's pretty OP. He pretty much becomes one of the best people in the entire world with using magic, especially where I am where in the most up-to-date episodes he's pretty much he is very much respected for his magic. And he even gets a nickname, which every time I think the episode where he gets called it, there were loads of people I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking about Family Guy when he got called his title, because his title is Quagmire. And loads of people just thought of Family Guy. But the reason why he has Quagmire is as his like mage nickname is because he can use water and earth magic and can use them together to make mud, for example, which is not
Like Naruto jutsus.
yeah. Look. Yeah, which is not a easy thing to do, and they call him Quagmire because he can make mud and make enemies get stuck in it. Yeah, like I said, I love the world building. I'm enjoying the story, but there are
I was
problems.
going to say, I've got something very interesting. Well, but how did you feel like when he got laid with Eris? I loved his reaction. Like, he just came out super, super happy, and then his world just turned.
I'm not gonna answer that because you need to watch the next couple episodes.
I like I said, I'm just finished episode 1 where he's just on the quest with the new people.
It's if you compare it to the start of where because the main character Rudius is, well, as we said, he in his other life he was a 34-year-old shut-in virgin. And he is, he's not the most, he's there's a lot of problems, I guess, in his, he eyes up women constantly, and it's definitely something, especially in the early show, it doesn't always sit right with me, and there are things in the show that still don't sit right with me. There are things that are a bit, but then saying that, there's things in Berserk that are also a bit like the same. So nothing's perfect, and I absolutely love Berserk, but it's what it is. But he eyes up near enough every woman he meets at his young age, but then as he gets a bit older, especially with how it all ends, the first season, you can see his growth. He's not always eyeing every woman he meets up, and he does think about their feelings more than you probably realise until later on in the show. And it's nice to see characters grow over the course of the season, which, if a story's written right, should fucking happen.
Yeah, because literally you see just that character development going through as he's become... he goes from that hikikomori, shut-in to, he's now becoming more sentimental. Because there's first couple episodes where he was just bored and then his parents were just banging. I was just like, okay, right, interesting.
Pretty much every fucking character is fucking horny as fuck. It's also ridiculous.
Actually, Paul, I just love the fact that you got his dad. It's like every female character knows his dad.
Is it Elite? Oh, I can't remember. I can't speak her name. But there's a female elf that appears, and
her fucking hell.
Like, she is the horniest character in the show. It's a bit. There is an actual plot reason, and it has mentioned it in season 2.
Yeah, they've named a restaurant chain after her, Five Guys.
Pretty much. Yeah. There is a scene where she's fucking Five Guys, literally.
And then she moans, what's her name, for walking
Roxy.
in saying, I'm gathering information.
Yeah, there is an actual plot reason why she fucks near enough everyone.
Probably something to do with power, because I'm not there
Yeah,
yet.
you are on the right lines, but it's only a little detail, but I've read the full detail on why. Because I think after, when she reappears in season 2, there was a whole load of posts actually explaining it, because it's in a spin-off novel that explains why she is horny as fuck. No,
she's
like
thirsty.
Yeah, literally. No, I do like I said, the world building and a lot of what this show is doing. It's compared to a lot of isekai I've watched. This is one of the better ones. There's a lot of isekai that are just fucking trash.
Yeah, it is refreshing when you get isekais which actually have a care put in, and they're just not there just to be like the next long sentence. Like reincarnated as a washing machine. There's
one. No, I know which one you're thinking of. There's one airing at the moment called Reincarnated as a Vending Machine.
Yeah, that one. It's just like, we spoke about it in the last episode. It's, the isekais with the long days, but when you get monsters like Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, or like ReZero, where you see the isekais of the character development over time, it's refreshing. Rather than this, get hit by car, get hit by truck, save the world by the demon. It's always the demon lord, but there's no sign of a demon lord in this one, which is refreshing.
Like how one of the big isekais last decade was Sword Art Online. But what's funny is when Sword Art Online is the most interesting when you take Kirito out.
Yeah, like just the concept of the game world is, I really enjoyed it when it was, like, at the time it came out.
Well, we all did, but now we know it's a bit trash. It's quite trashy. Although the last season was really good. But funny enough,
Alicization.
what? Yeah, that alicization was good. But why? Because Kirito was not really doing anything. That's why it was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mushoku Tensei, it's good. It has problems. There are things that people won't like that the main character does. You know, if you can overlook them, you'll be treated, not overlook them, but you can understand why and see how he develops. I think you can move past it. You know, there's always questionable things in so much stuff. You know, there are people that, take Game of Thrones as questionable things in that. Yet, whatever, people have moved past certain things in that. You know, nothing's perfect. I think Mushoku Tensei brings a really nice package that is worth checking out. But it is definitely one of those. If you're not into anime, you're not going to watch this.
Nah, it's not a gateway one. You need to have you need to be somewhat invested into anime to like it.
Any closing thoughts, Brandon?
Watch Mushoku Tensei. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch it.
So I'm up to date with season 2, and I'm really enjoying it.
How was the time gap between season 1 and 2? Because loads of people were saying, "Oh, we need season 2. We need season 2." And then
what do you mean?
Now,
time?
So between season 1 and season 2, in terms of like seasonal release.
I'm not sure.
I know it's quite a gap.
I think second half of season 2 was early last year, I believe.
Oh, was it that recent?
Yeah, because when it was airing, I was decorating my room because I was in the spare room at the time. That's why. And the thing I haven't mentioned. Do you know anything about the studio, Brandon?
Not particularly. It was a new one I think it was a new one I came across.
So Studio Bind, who do Mushoku Tensei, they are a studio that have formed to do one thing and one thing only: Mushoku Tensei.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they spin-off from?
I'm not sure the studio they were originally part of, but the studio has literally been formed to animate Mushoku Tensei.
Oh wow! No wonder I've not seen anything else.
So near enough every episode has quite a high quality, and like the first season doesn't have any opening, and has all the openings are just.
I was literally about to say that about the openings, like
all the openings and endings.
You've got the gentle music intro and just the panning shots of everything.
They're
lovely.
Quite organic. Season 2, the first 3 episodes are like that, but from episode 4 onwards, they actually do have the standard anime opening and anime ending, and that's why I did meant to say to you why I'm quite glad I watched episode 1, 2 and 3 and then 4 in one day, because episode 1, 2 and 3 of season 2 definitely feel like one section, and then from episode 4 onwards it feels like the next section. And after episode 3, you're gonna want either a palate cleanser or the next episode. You're not gonna not. I'm quite glad I didn't stop. I had the next episode after episode 3.
What was it?
You'll find out. You'll find out. You'll find out. You'll see why.
As long as it doesn't involve Sylphie, which it probably will do.
No, she doesn't appear. Not in episode 3.
Okay, that'll be tonight's mission. I will do it.
But that's obviously one of the big animes we watched recently. Like I said, it's ongoing, and it's second half of season 2 is out in April next year. So still a bit of a wait for that, but in
the grand scheme,
yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway, I think that's been our episode. Unless there's anything more to add, boys.
No, I think I'm all happy with everything.
Chris?
No, I think we're all good. I just think you should go and play Resident Evil 2 immediately.
No, I need to finish Resident Evil 1, then.
Both at the same time.
No. Oh, I don't want to be like, right, what's Leon and Claire doing while Jill and Chris are in the Spencer mansion? Oh, look, Leon,
Technically, it's not happened yet. So.
Yeah, that is true. No, when I play Resi 2, I will start with Claire. I'm not going to start with Leon first as well.
Yeah, I think the canon way of doing it is Claire A, Leon B anyway.
Yeah, I know. I don't know which, but I think, was it on Remake, it has Leon, when you picking it has Leon first, and I think people are like, no, do Claire, don't do Leon first. I don't know if that's true, but I think...
it's pretty much the same. But if you essentially play it 4 times, doing it both each way, and it's different every time.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. As always, you know where we are on social media: Facebook, Twitter. Well, X. Fucking stupid. On X.
I'm not calling it X.
On Twitter, Instagram. Listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, whatever you're listening this on, we're there. Check out Retro Smash, our sister podcast, because they're great, and check these two out on Twitch. I was about to say Twitter again. Yeah, check these two out on Twitch whenever they're streaming, and yeah.
See you next time, everyone.
Tatty buys.
Don't be a Jill sandwich.
Don't be a Jill sandwich.
And see you soon.